It's Monday. It is 4 in the afternoon and we've got thunderclouds overhead. So not doing anything crazy today. I'm just going to try and notch off the gable ends so we can put the 2x4 ladder struts out there for the overhangs on each end of the building. That's today's agenda. Super easy. All I need is a circular saw and the ladder. It'll climb up there and get it done. So if it does start to turn to pot on us, I can, quickly get underneath cover and get out of the weather, because nobody wants to be on a building with thunderstorms and rain and possible lightning, because that would be not fun. So I'm going to cover up these 2x4s under the tarp and then get on up there and get after it. So let's just get something done today, because progress is progress. So let's do it. Well, I don't need a fancy wireless microphone for you to hear what's going on outside. As soon as it started getting heavy, I knew, as soon as the fat drop started coming down, I knew it was time to get off the building. So, well, we got a couple of notches in. There's a thunder boomer too. Got a couple of notches in on the roof, but we didn't get one whole side done. That's all right. Progress is progress. Hopefully tomorrow the weather holds out and I can finish it up and we can start putting in the sub fascia for the ladder soffit on the gable ends, and yeah, we'll see what we do. But that's it for tonight. I got 45 minutes of work in. All right, till tomorrow. It's Wednesday, 4:45. Finally back out here. It's not raining. No storms are on the overhead, thankfully. So we're going to get back on a ladder and we're going to finish skinning the rest of the building. So the back side here that's open, we're going to finish that off like we did up here in the front, and try to make up for the lost 2 days that I had because storms. Yeah, we still have a fire in the back over here, about 20 miles away as the bird fly, or no, less than 20 miles away as the crow flies. But there are crews on it. We're just waiting to find out that it's put out and we can move on with our lives. So we're still waiting on that bit. So if the things are a little orange, that's why. Bear with us on that. Set up the time lapse, probably move it around a couple times while this is going, because that back stretch, this side, that side, and all the things. So yeah, let's do the do. hump day is over with. It's 6:30. Got a lot done. So I'm gonna spin you around here. You see the back wall now is completely skinned. So the entire building now has all of its siding, all the way up to the roof at least. I did finish notching the south end gable wall. So tomorrow, if everything works out, I'll be on the north end gable wall, notching it out, getting it ready for the fascia ladder supports. I guess that's what they're called. I'm guessing that's what they're called. And then we'll start doing the internal portion above, well, in between each one of the trusses to shore them up so they don't move, and fill that gap between the top plate and the height of the truss. And then we can start running the fascia, subfascia, which is going to be 2x6 all the way around. I ordered all of the tin. The order was placed from the manufacturer today, so I should hear something shortly. So the roof is the next agenda. We're all done with the walls and the building of the building. Now we need to get the roof going so we can have a top on this pig. So sorry if the time lapse was kind of all over the place today. I had 2 other projects going on. We had the stuff to get ready for chickens. So we have the scalding pot and the kill cone and all that jazz was getting refurbished because it was on the side of my old shop, because there was water access and everything like that. So we were fixing that all up and get something going for that. And then of course chores were already done because I was working during chores, which I'm not mad about. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you got to, continue to work to get progress. So yeah, I'm gonna go inside, get something to eat, take a shower, and get to bed because I got to get up at 4 in the morning tomorrow to get into work. All right, on to the next. Good morning. 4th of July. It is Friday, 9:42 in the morning. I've had my breakfast, had my coffee, got everything set up, ready to go. Because of course, we're working. So today we're going to notch the north gable end. Since I finished notching the south gable end, we'll notch the north one. Then we're going to start putting in all the ladder soffit for the fascia. And then we're going to start doing trusses to make sure they're all the same length. Then we're going to fill the gap between the trusses in preparation for, what is that stuff called? Sheathing. Then we're going to do the subfascia. And then we're going to start putting sheathing on the roof. At least that's the order I think I'm going to go in. We'll see what we do. But it's all up work. So I'm going to try and get the GoPro up on the roof of the pantry building here, the lean-to, so you can actually see what I'm doing instead of just my head every now and then popping up. So nothing to it but to do it. I got all day. I got a 3-day weekend to smash some shit out. So I'm excited to get to work. Odin, you ready to work, Bubba? Nope, he just wants to play. Huh. You just want to play. Arr.
Okay, Friday. It's 4:30. I'm calling it. It's 4th of July. I put in plenty of work today. As you can see, the front fascia's on. Also, the portion between the fascia, the end of the truss, and the piece that's closing the gap in between the trusses and whatnot. This piece is there. I don't know what that is. Soffit, maybe? Is that what it is? But anyway, this whole side's done. I got both of the gable ends. The ladder bracing is out. So 2 feet in the front, 1 foot in the back. And the front fascia matches both the front end and the back, so that's ready to go. So I can just take the fascia from this side and butt it right up against that, not have to worry about cutting any fandangle angles on that, because it'll just square up to it. But yeah, that's the one side all done. I gotta do the other side now to match this, and then do the gable end fascia, and we're ready to start putting OSB up there. It's turning into something, that's for sure. I forgot how much little stuff there is to do for a roof, but we're getting it. We're getting it for sure. I'm not mad at the progress. So I'm going to finish putting all my toys away, covering up the lumber, picking up all my scraps from today, and I'm going to go put my feet up for the rest of the night. Well, we got to do chores too. So anyway, I hope everybody has or had a good 4th, a safe 4th. And if you do partake, make sure you keep all your fingers away from things that go boom. Don't, trust me, you don't want to go to the ER on the 4th of July. It's never fun. So anyway, I'm going to pick up my toys and go inside and suck up some Freon. Until next time.
Good afternoon. It is 11 o'clock on Saturday, the 5th of July. Hope everybody had a great, safe 4th of July, and well, it's time to get back to work. Yesterday I did a lot of stuff on the front end of the building here. Now we're going to be on the back side doing the exact same thing, putting the blocking in on the top where the ridge curves up. So that gets sealed off. We're going to do the front fascia, and if I have time and the patience, I'd like to do the gable end fascias as well. Spent a lot of time yesterday trying to figure everything out because it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So a lot of trial and error. Hopefully today goes a little bit smoother because now I know what to expect. But yeah, tin's on order, so I need to get this roof cooking. A lot of little things got to happen when it comes to a roof. I just, you don't realize it until you're up there doing it. But turned out pretty good. I got the angle just right on the blocking, so it's a nice smooth transition all the way up. And there's a couple of things I got to do in the middle of the roof to get everything flattened out. Like that one spot there is kind of got a dip in it because the man-made trusses or homemade trusses that I did kind of got a little squat. But that's okay. I knew that was going to be a thing, and it's just one section, so I'm just going to shim it and call it good. And then we can start putting, once all the fascia's done, the blocking's done, the roof is ready for the skin that's sitting right there. So nothing to it but to do it. Toys are already out. Air compressor's already fully charged. Batteries are all charged, and put my earbuds in and start hammering away because it's just me. So I got to plug in my saw there, get it ready to go, uncover the lumber, and yeah, let's do the do.
VBR Street Gang, this is Almighty. Standing by, over.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
Thank you, over. VBR Street Gang, this is Almighty. Standing by, over.
Okay, it's 1:30 on Saturday. I'm done. There's no more I can do at this point because, like I said before, I know I'm going to have to take a trip to the lumber yard one time or another. Unfortunately, it's a holiday weekend, so the lumber yard is closed, which is fine because evidently I need to take a break. But I got the fascia done on this side. I got the blocking done between the trusses, so that's all done. The reason why I'm stopping is, let me move you here. And, sorry, 1 second. There we go. The boards I need to do this fascia here, I don't have. I thought I had 12 footers left. I have 10 footers because, you know, measuring. So I need to go get 12 foot 2x6 so I can do the fascia on the gable ends. And then once that's done, it's time for OSB. And that's when the roof is really going to start taking shape. And of course, I ordered my tin with 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch for wiggle room because I know 100% without a shadow of a doubt this thing is not perfect. You can see just looking down, there's a bit of a swoop in the fascia, which is fine. It's on the back side, and it probably is going to look great from your house. And then if you look down the front, you might see there's a little bit of bowage in there as well. But you know, to be fair, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm not in the trades. I just know how to read, and I'm not afraid to do stuff. I am confident in my screw-ups. So for one big screw-up, this is looking pretty damn good. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all my toys, download all the footage, put the time lapse and everything together so I can probably have the video ready to go tonight and get it uploaded. So tomorrow I can actually kick my feet up and just do meal prep, relax, and play Star Wars Galaxies and reminisce about the olden days of 2003. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. And the next time you see me, we'll be finishing up this fascia stuff. And we're going to start capping this roof. All right, till next time.